Hello, my name is Emin. I'm part of the Zanzibar solar team, and we are installing solar systems all over Zanzibar. And we made this presentation, and I think it makes sense to also have this online. So I'll redo it and record my screen. So first of all, we are two people that moved here from Germany. We are skilled engineers and based in Zanzibar. We have a permanent team here that works with all sizes of projects, but also helps projects within each other when they need to exchange parts or stuff like that. We take care about the whole maintenance, upgrades, and also, of course, the monitoring and quick learning. And we share this learning with everyone. And this is also why this presentation was made. We're doing also quite big projects up to 200 kVh right now, kV peak, but that you can reach out to me. So Zanzibar, why Zanzibar? Yeah, this is a big question. Zanzibar is one of the most sunniest places in the world. It has up to 2,700 sun hours. It has basically light from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and never changes because it's the equator. And whatever energy needs you have, Zanzibar has you covered. There's enough sun on daytime to power whatever you need, and there is even more. There's enough to also charge all the batteries that you might need in the night or even the days after. So you can completely go off grid here. Then Zanzibar has a problem. It has no power plants. It actually takes the with an underwater submarine cable, and it's only 100 megawatt, and it's already on full capacity. And you can see this, and it causes a lot of problems here on the island. That is really the number one problem. And of course, everybody knows what we need to do is we need solar. The World Bank noticed this and sponsored 200 million to upgrade and help to build power plants for the people. But this will take time, and there's still a lot of unplanned system outages. And the biggest problem really is that with an outage, you also lose money, especially when you, for example, run a restaurant and need to throw away all your groceries at home, or just in general, it is, you can imagine, no internet works. There is a lot of associated losses with these outages. And at the same time, Zanzibar is extremely quickly growing. So basically the grid has not enough power, and at the same time 15, 16, 17% more power is required every year. So you know where this is going. Right now people use diesel generators, and that is also not good, because the generators, they leak, they poison the island, and they are expensive to maintain. And on top of all this, you need diesel on petrol, and the prices, they spike every year by nearly 20%, because you need to buy this diesel with US dollar, and US dollar is obviously not the currency of the island. So there's US dollar shortage and many other problems, and therefore the prices are just rising, and running a generator absolutely makes no sense. So there's very limited education and very limited companies here. That is like talent is needed everywhere in the world, especially when it comes to electric, because you know when you touch it you can die. The big fight between AC and DC electricity and Edison and Tesla, where Edison went out on the streets and electrifying elephants to show that AC power is dangerous and you should use DC power, and even Edison invented the electric chair to fry people just to make them scared about electricity, and therefore that also, you know, reduces people that are actually working or touching electricity or understanding electricity, even though it's actually, you know, everybody can understand. And when you do it right, when you use the right hardware, and when you educate yourself a little bit, then you can actually install very safe and very good systems quite easy. And so how does electricity work? Easily, I will drag myself a little bit into the middle here, just that you can see it. It's basically voltage is how fast the electricity goes through. Electricity are electrons, yeah? Maybe you remember from physics. And you know, as more electrons you have, as more ampere or current you have, and as more voltage you have, as faster it goes through it. But let's say when you use a short cable, and this is ohm, yeah, and you have a lot of resistance, then this causes a lot of resistance, a lot of heat, and the cable can melt, the cable can burn, and you can imagine it as cars driving high speed on a highway, and then from on 8 lines in parallel, and from 1 second to another, it's reduced to 4 lines, and then you have a mass carambolage because the lines were just reduced. This is basically the ohm, and then you have a problem. And this is just one of one things to learn. So when we install systems, for us it's really, really important that they are safe and that you don't have houses burning down and hotels burning down, which we see. You can avoid this by using high voltage instead of low voltage, because you will just have less electrons basically flowing through, just in a faster speed on high voltage. You need to understand the difference between AC and DC. Also power loss, of course. How do you lose power? How long are your cables? How thick are your cables? Which inverters do you use to switch between different power sources? Which batteries do you use to store the electricity? And which solar panels do you hopefully use in the future to produce electricity? So the configuration is extremely important, that it will run long term. Long term, we talk about 20 years in installations, or even 25 years, and reliable without the need of a lot of maintenance and things to change here. And in order to guarantee this is not only the installation, but obviously also high quality hardware. And that is just the key for long-term success with your system. The main parts here are the inverters. So the inverters are the brain of the system. They switch between power sources. They understand where the electricity comes from, where it should flow to. It will give you statistics and just manage your whole system, and it will do this completely autonomous. So in the best case, you don't need to do nothing. And if you have a problem, the inverter will tell you what your problem is, and you can easily fix this. And you can also do this remote. You don't have to stand next to the device. Much better than running in the night to the generator, switching it on, switching the power source manually with a switch, and so on and so on, what most of the people do today in Zanzibar. Then batteries are really good. Like we have self-driving cars with batteries, with electric cars, and batteries just getting better and better, and we have now batteries that can easily last for 10 years. And you should also get them because they also have a lot of other advantages, like high voltage, which will reduce the risk of accidents such as cable burns. And then, of course, when you have the sun, let's get the best efficiency. That gets the efficiency when there's basically clouds, when there's rain, when there is low light. But also just get a high voltage also, and this and a big output to just be efficient and charge, for example, your batteries fast and have a high peak production of electricity. So how do we determine? Or how do we work with people? I mean, basically, it's what's your essential need. Many people, they need water, so they have a water pump. People have wells here, deep, like basically fresh water from groundwater. So you need a water pump. You need an air conditioning unit, or fans at least in the room. I think lights are also not bad at night, and they also don't need so much power. And of course, you want to have your fridge. At least your fridge is always up and running, so you do not run into the problem that you have to throw away all the groceries that you bought. And of course, based on all this information and based on all these questions, so what is your daily and monthly consumption? How much electricity do you need per day? How much do you need per night? How long you want to be off grid? Let's say the electricity completely disappears. How long do you want to be able to run on batteries before you need to switch to the generator? And do you have space? And do you want to upgrade in the future? Yeah, all these questions are important. And but the easiest way to determine what is the right system for you is what is your monthly bill, so how much you pay right now, and actually list a number of things that you want to power, because with that, we can already estimate the power consumption. And also maybe in the future, let's say you want to build 10 new rooms for your hotel, you can calculate quite quickly how many laptops will be charged, how many fridges will be there, how many air cons, and so on and so on. So to understand the price that you are paying right now is basically how much do you pay per hour, yeah, for diesel per kilowatt. This is the formula. And to understand the big problem with diesel generators, they break down quickly. They don't have a long lifetime. They need maintenance. And there are two big problems. One is the US dollar exchange rate to the Tanzanian shilling, which is constantly getting worse because there's a big shortage on the markets. And this will also not ease down in the next couple of years. And the oil prices in general rises. So running a generator will just get more and more and more expensive. And already you pay easily 1,000 shilling per kilowatt hour, which is nearly 50 cents, US dollar cents per kilowatt per hour running on a diesel generator. And we use a lot of AI also to calculate and bullshit check everything that we say. And you're absolutely welcome to use this video and post it maybe to ChatGPT or anything else to see if I lie to you and get some fact checks. And yeah, how do we estimate actually the savings that you get? Usually every solar system is paid off here within 2 to 3 years, easily. So it's rather about how much budget do you have, not how fast it will pay off. Because if you look at just your system size and 7 hours sun per day and the solar production that you make, then even with a small system, compared to a generator, you already save 50,000 shillings. With a 100 kV system, you save nearly 1 million shillings per day. Per year, it's 160 million shillings. Yeah, that's tens of thousands of dollars of yearly savings just by switching to solar and having the right battery size. The future looks bright. So the sun will shine and continue shining. Zanzibar will need more energy. Electric tuk-tuk cars are coming. Electric charging stations are needed. There will be subventions and maybe support from the government or the World Bank for everyone who helps to keep the island clean, not poison it with diesel, generate their own power, and just help this island to fly. And therefore, getting into solar now is the right time. And then also not only for your own power generation needs, but also for storage and for peer-to-peer markets and for selling it to friends, neighbors, or back to the government. Let's see how this develops. Thank you very much. My name is Emino. Lino is my partner. You can reach us on WhatsApp. Check solarzanzibar.com. And thank you for listening.